Hello, how's it going? Happy Saturday and happy Father's Day weekend for those of you who celebrate it. I guess it's Father's Day in Canada as well. I asked a friend last night. I mean tomorrow, you know, not today. But yeah, so happy Saturday. Are you guys making anything? All right, so I have been wanting some like secret pajama pants, you know, like for around the house. They're going to be nice enough to wear out in public, don't worry. But I just want something comfortable to put on at the end of the day that aren't my pajamas. And this pattern came out the other night right before I was like, you know what, I'm just going to draft a pair. I'm going to base it on this other pair of pants I have, needing pattern, and modify it because they were pretty close. And then these came out. So these free range pants, it's not a free pattern. It's just called the free range pants. And they're by SewHouse 7. And we just made the tea house dress by them or her. And I love the fit. So why not, right? So I thought I would put on my big girl panties and tape together a PDF because, you know, I'm kind of a big baby about those things, and it really was no big deal. I feel like now that I have more time to settle into home sewing. Hi, Louise. Hey, hello. It's not so bad, but before when my time was really, really limited, I could not put together 54 pattern pieces. Hi, Ida. I'm sorry I secret streamed last night. You guys were probably sleeping, huh? I'm sorry. Hi, Rachel. How's it going? Welcome all. If you are new here, my name is Sarami. Hi Lexi, how's it going? Nice to see you. My name is Sarami and I live stream sewing. I'm just giving it a shot. I've been doing this for about 9 months. I don't know, we're almost to our 100th video, and my 1 year is coming up as well. Hi Eliza. I am a trained pattern drafter and garment designer. I went to fashion school a long time ago. I've been working in the industry for a really long time, but just doing lots of different things. And I haven't really been in the home sew world for a while. And even when I worked at a fabric store, just sewed for myself. I've always worked on the other side. Hi, Carol. But I really, really, really love sewing, and I really love sharing my knowledge. And I'm pretty casual about my sewing, pretty cavalier, but I like to get it done. I'm more a fan of getting it done and getting it worn and seeing what you think and trying it on than it being perfect, because perfect is definitely subjective. And your idea of perfection is going to change over time. So I think sometimes done is better. You know, there's times for perfection. And I think done is perfect. So, you know. That's my philosophy. I will make mistakes. I've never bled on camera, I don't think, so you don't have to worry about that kind of mistake. Even though all of you do worry, the perspective is different, like with the camera. So, but we really like it when you chat here, and to be able to do that, you need to create an account. If you're viewing on YouTube, I'm streaming on Twitch and YouTube live. So sometimes it does look like I'm talking to imaginary people. It's because they're chatting in the other stream. Hi, Christina. And if you want to chat with us, which is really fun, everyone's really nice and friendly and supportive. And we're all different sewing levels here. You just need to create a channel in YouTube, which is just an account. It's just like a security measure. In Twitch, you just basically create your user profile. A note about Twitch, since it's new for people, you can you follow people. They can see you follow them, but that's it. You can't see what you're doing. They can't see. You don't need to friend anybody. You don't need to do anything like that. It's pretty private. Just so you know that. I think YouTube is too. YouTube is well. In fact, like I can't even see who likes or dislikes my videos. It's that private. Don't just start disliking all my videos, but I'm just telling you that because I think it's good information. But likes do help, and comments are always fun. So anywho, so we are making the free range pants. They are an easy pull on, like meaning they're super simple to wear. No buttons, buttonholes, or zippers. It's elastic. It's a 1.5 inch wide elastic, which I don't own, and I forgot to cut. But I'm just going to put some channels. Hi, Louise. Yes, I can see when someone subscribes to me, Louise, but I can't click. There's nowhere for me to click and see who's subscribed to me. But I get a notification when someone does. But that's about it. I really haven't delved into it. I feel like YouTube's super tricky to navigate, and it's there's a lot of extra on it. You know what I mean? I've learned some little tricks with it, like, and this might help you guys, like when you're watching a video that's not live, if you double tap on the right side of the video or left side of the video, it will jump 10 seconds. And there's settings where you can tell it to jump what you want it to jump. That I love, because sometimes I'm like, no. Okay, here we go. Now I want to see this. And you know, sliding your finger on the little fast forward bar is, it's tricky, you know? So that double tap on the right side and the left. There's a few other little tricks I've seen people share. So I try and pass them on to you guys. And you can create your own playlists and hide them from the public. So you can just say, oh, I want to create a playlist of how to sew collars. And then you can just go to those people's videos in your little playlist. It doesn't mean you're like creating content for people to view, but you can make it public, and people are like, oh, look at this. Louise is really trying to figure out collars right now, and she's got all this really great list of videos. I'm gonna check some of these out. Yeah, I have trouble controlling that slide bar too. I put a little like thing on my front, my needle bar. It's not my needle bar. My thread take-up lever protection. I put this on there so I remember I had a ballpoint needle in there. Hi, Malin. Welcome. All right, so like I said, these have front hip pockets, slash style. And erroneously yesterday I said, oh, you see how tall this is because it rolls over. And that's not, that doesn't roll over. There's actually a waistband facing, which I like because it's less bulky. It's that you have the elastic going through the top of it. So that's why. And they are high-waisted pants, by the way. I'm a little concerned about that. I'm not a big fan of super high-waisted, but when I hold these up to me, I think that they're going to be in a good spot. I like them like right above my belly button. When I'm going for comfort, you know, like when I don't want to, like when I want to squat down and do stuff, you know, that's what I want. So I'm going to do the back pockets. I read through the directions, and she provides instructions on how to fully... Hi, Kelly. How's it going? It's been a while. Welcome. She provides instructions on how to fully finish your pants so that if you want to cuff them, they look nice when they're cuffed. I have pre-serged all of my pieces today. I'm not going to do French seams, but I am going to do flat felled seams on the side inset panel, because there is this side panel, if you can see right here. And the longer tapered version is really what she focuses on finishing it for when you want to cuff it up. But I am going to just flat fell it, just so those of you out there that want to do that version have that option to see how to flat fell. And flat felling is kind of fun. So I left those seams unserged. But it's pretty straightforward. The other thing I'm going to do, remember I couldn't find this pattern piece yesterday. It's a little pocket facing for the hand pockets. And I'm going to bind it actually just for a little bit of contrast for fun. I may regret it. You can learn from me. So that's my first step. I'm going to trim off the seam allowance of that pocket because I'm going to double edge it. Right, Louise? I know. I did the flat felled seams on those men's pants that we did a while ago, the Jetlands. But denim and flat fell, it's like I need to practice that more. They turned out fine, but I did feel like they actually did pretty good. But you know, when you're going through the juncture of the rise, that's a lot of thicknesses with denim and flat felling. So you know, these will be pretty easy because it's like a linen cotton canvas that I'm using that I got at Hearts Fabric that I've been super excited to sew. And it's a cute little cat print. Very cute. You see the kitties? Yeah. All right, so I'm going to trim my front pockets first. And the reason I'm doing that is because I did not cut this pocket edge facing out. I'm going to bind it instead. So that's the only reason. I may need to set up my iron camera. I forgot to check it when I got in here, and I know I bonked it yesterday when I was leaving. So, hi Lisa, how's it going? Welcome. Yeah, I mean, I feel like this would be a good one to try it on, Carol. And it really, flat felling is like, it's like hemming your seams on the outside of the garment. You know, you'll see. You start it like you're doing a French seam, and then you trim one of the seam allowances and then fold the other one over it and top stitch it down like you're hemming it over. It's pretty fun, honestly. All right, so let's see here. I need to trim off my seam allowance on this pocket because I'm going to bind it. And I didn't bring a ruler over here, so I'll just use this little guy. So the 3/8 inch seam on this pocket for the facing. So I'm gonna trim off 3/8 because when you're binding, you don't really need the seam allowance because you're just gonna wrap it around the edge. And it's gonna be really awkward for me to do it right here, but I'm gonna do it. So. Oh, this is the one with the new blade in it. This is the one. Here's my little eraser. I was working on my schedule, so we need to chat about that. It was so nice having all of the streams planned for May. At least for me it was. And I really want to do that again. I should have already done that, you know? So I think July we should do 100 acts of sewing pattern. And I think I have tunic number 1, but I want to try a different one with a set-in sleeve. And I tried on my friend Maria's once, and I really liked it. So I'm going to ask her which one that is, because I get kind of confused with the style names. So I want to make sure I get the right one. All right, let's put my blade away. And we're going to bind this right off the bat. I like binding. You guys know that. I know, the cats are super cute. Right? All right, so here's the front pant. I can separate them now. I don't know why I'm protecting them. I don't know why my pincushion's there. All right, let's do this. Is the lighting everything okay? Is that a little bright for you guys, or is it okay? So I always bind starting from the inside of the garment. Yes, this is a snowflake binding, but the colors go really good. I don't care. When it's that narrow, it won't be as noticeable. I'll do both of this step first, and then the fun step afterward. I'm not even going to change the thread color. If I were sewing a lot more of this binding, I might, but I'm not worried about it. Sometimes when you're sewing, I find that once it's sewn, even if you were like questioning if that color block will go with it, like or that fabric or that thread, once it's sewn, it looks like it was always supposed to be that way. It's almost like sewing it gives it validity. You know what I mean? And I find that cream thread kind of blends in when there's a lot of cream around it. It doesn't really bug me. I actually kind of like the way it looks sometimes because I really like the way top stitching looks. But this will just give me a nice little hint. The pattern or the print on the fabric is so busy that I feel like that'll be a nice contrast. All right, I admit that the cream thread's a little much. I'm going forward. It'll be fine. Right? I mean, they're cat pants. And hey, if they're secret pajamas, they're cat's pajamas, right? I didn't even think of that. Not even a snowflake in sight. It almost looks more like a star print. This was for like a holiday group we did for chicken boots a couple years ago. I still have some of the hand cut binding left because you never know when you're going to need it. I'm just trimming it to line up. So now this is all finished and I got my front pockets. So let's see. I only serged the outer edge of the pocket Actually, and you know what? I actually needed to serge. Oh, but I'm flat felling it, so that's okay. I always sew my binding from the wrong side to the right side because I'm finishing it on the right side. Like finishing meaning it's my last stitch and it's the side that's going to show. I mean, especially for the pocket, right? I mean, no one's going to see this side. You know, I fell off right there, probably because I hesitated right there. You know, like sew, pause, that kind of thing. And see, this side looks nice. I mean, yeah, it would be better in like matching thread color. It would be almost invisible. But, you know, that's why I do it, is because I thought that the binding was really white, but it's just the print under there. I just always start things like collars, cuffs, any kind of thing where I'm going to end on the right side. I always just start from the inside. I have to turn the air conditioning on, you guys. Just a second. I forgot. I always just turn it off overnight, even though it gets like 100 degrees in here. And I can tell it's already starting to warm up. It was like 102 this week here. So warm. All right, so here are my pockets. And I accidentally serged all three sides here. I only needed the side that's not the side seam. Because see, look, you just set this on here. Line up your pocket. Pants are always so cumbersome, you know. See in there, you can see my pocket opening now, which is kind of nice. So it does have this side panel. I mean, if you really wanted to get, you know, contrasty, you could do a contrast panel on the side right here, you know, contrast pocket edging, contrast back pockets, or you could even do this as contrast right here. It just adds some interest is all, you know. And because this is such a busy print, I find binding kind of frames things, and it, I don't know, just gives it more definition. So you are going to place your pocket under here. Because you finish this edge, there's only one layer for the pocket, which is kind of nice. It won't get too bulky going into the waist. It's only 74, wow. Is it humid there though? And now you're gonna top stitch your pocket to the pant. See, like this. So I just lined it all up. I'm gonna do it from, I think I'm gonna do it from the top side. It's just how I like to do things. I like seeing the stitching I'm gonna have. I'm gonna do one along the serging, and I'm gonna decide if I'm gonna double stitch these like the pattern suggests once I see how it looks. But I'm just feeling it. Your machine wants to sew in a straight line. It's pretty darn accurate if left to its own devices. I always stop with needle down so I can pivot too, which is nice on those corners. That's one thing I noticed on my home machine the other day was when I pivoted at a corner, it got all sloppy. Wow. Yeah, I got my watermelon dress on for you guys. I meant to wear this when I was sewing the Lucita, and I totally forgot because I was excited about the tea house. Wow, it's pretty cool where everyone is. Yeah, it's been like a late winter, and then summer hit. All right, I'm just gonna top stitch that down. Get rid of my stitching. What do I think here? Do I want, it's got a nice little angle here. Can you see that? It's a big pocket. And so this will be taken up with elastic right here. It's a sizable pocket. It looks really cute though. Do I want 2 rows? You know what? I am gonna put two rows in. So let's talk about double needles. It's 55 and ringing there. I'm gonna sneeze. I can tell. Let's talk about double needles. So a lot of you sewing on home sewing machines can get those nifty twin needles. But you can't use it for this right here, and I'm going to tell you why. It's because you cannot turn a corner with one of those things, because when you're turning the corner, one needle would have to stop sewing while the other one went past to go around. So excuse me. So just remember that. So when they do that for like denim pants and things like that, like on back pockets, they have a twin needle machine, but one needle stops sewing while the other one keeps going, turns the corner, and then this one picks back up again to go. If that makes sense. So just remember that. You'll be pretty bummed when you get down to the corner there and you're like, oh, how do I turn the corner? You could make it a curve though. Oh shoot, I got a little bit crooked there. I felt it because I was adjusting. Womp womp. Alright, let's see. I think I'm going to try and go a half stitch further. So I have a heel lift, and that's why my machine does this constant smacking. It's pretty touchy. There we go. So I did the double. It got a little narrow there, and it looks great still. Thank you. That's my husband. You know, flexing on his German. I always say make a wish now. I never know what to say anymore. Salud. I like salud. Hi, Nancy. Good morning. I'm always so jealous you're drinking coffee during this. All right. Line up our pocket on the other side, and we're going to do the same thing. So let's see here. You have notches. I could illustrate the fact that I am lining up some notches right there. I like to just pin it kind of in the middle. That's why I did that on the other one. That way the pins aren't anywhere near my needle when I'm sewing, and I don't have to worry about taking them out as I go. They can just stay there stabilizing it. All right, we're gonna sew it again from the top. There's my corner. The first one's a little easier because I don't have to go parallel to anything. I'm not back tacking because it's just not necessary. I know someone's gonna comment in my comments, why don't you back tack? But it's just really because if I back tack right here, I have the chance of the back tack dipping down low enough past the seam where the facing is attached, and you might see it. And that's just not necessary. It's going to get enclosed, so it doesn't need a back tack right now. All right, that's about right. Now my nose is runny. It's funny, she says to remove this little basting stitch when you do the flat felling. So I kind of don't want to put it in, but I'm going to put it in just so it stays stable while we're sewing these. Take out the pins. Now we have our fronts with pockets, and we're going to put the backs together with pockets now. There is I forgot to mention, there's a top stitch template if you want. I'm just following the seam allowance. Alrighty, so we have our pockets here. I thought about binding the top of the back pockets, but I kind of figured that would be, I don't know, just a little too much, a little too cutesy. I tend to accidentally get too cutesy sometimes, so I'm trying to avoid that. What's the seam allowance on this? Oh, there's no fold. Is there no fold line? All right, let's look at the instructions here. So here we are. A 1/4 and 1 inch. 1 1/4. Okay. So I already serged it, so I don't really need to do the, I'm not going to fold it under and then stitch it like this. I'm just going to, well, I could. What do we think? That looks nice. I really like that. But the serging does add a little bit of bulk because I already added it, you know? This is a little flatter. I didn't trim off anything, so my pocket would be a 1/4 inch taller than usual. So I'll just do a little bit of a hem here. I was just thinking about double stitching that. That would have been a nice touch. I wish I would have thought of that before I sewed that. All right, let's make sure that we fold it the same. I don't want my pockets to inadvertently be different sizes from each other. So I know you can go by your seam allowance for each side, but the thing is you've already sewn one, so you might as well go by the other one because now you're kind of locked in on that one pocket and you would like them to be symmetrical because they are on your back side, you know? You already got to make sure that they're the same height, and if one's a different height from the other one, they will look like they're crooked. And they will be because one end won't line up. So go for the matching of the other one over your seam allowance at this point if you've already sewn one. Just like this. And then make sure your stitching is going to line up too. I just use it as a guide like this. I don't want to accidentally catch the threads of this pocket in there. I mean, this already exists, so why not use it as a guide? You could chalk it too. Like that. And then we're going to put the pockets on. And that was the other thing I said erroneously when I was cutting them out, was that you want the pockets to be level to each other, but I think I said something where, you know, because they're in the middle of the pant and there's not 4 drill holes to line up your pocket placement, but you don't need them because it goes to the side seam. So it goes into that side panel on the pant. Like this. So let's see. I'm kind of curious. Let's see how... All right, so this has a little bit of an angle and goes all the way up to that side panel here. These are going to go together pretty quickly. So this, where my pin went in, that is the drill hole. So I'm going to center my pocket above and below that. Pin my pocket down. I just pin it in the middle, like that. Now when you're sewing pants and they're kind of getting a little bit in your way, what I do is I kind of just roll them up like this and just focus on what I'm sewing, and then I can put that under the machine head and it won't get in my way. All right, so we're gonna fold this under. You guys are so quiet. All right. So to get my fold kind of straight, I do kind of look at it. I know I'm not pinning it or anything, and it looks like I'm just eyeballing it, but I am being really careful, especially because I don't want the fabric to kind of sneak out and create kind of a lumpy edge there. We don't want a lumpy edge. And pivot right there in that corner and get rid of these threads here. Usually I start from the top and go down because I really like making that corner, and I'm gonna still do that. I'll show you when I get up there. I'm trying to decide if I want to do double stitching. I think I will. So I'm gonna fold in this top corner right here. I'm just gonna fold it down in there, kind of like that. See that little triangle I made, and tuck it in there. I don't like it when those corners poke out, and I really don't like it when it starts unraveling in the wash and those little threads pull out of your pocket and you can see them. I have jeans like that. It drives me nuts. So I'm going to double stitch them just like I did the front pockets. Is that about the same width? Yeah. Oh, I did not get very close to that edge, did I? Not like my bottom. There we go. All right. The back pockets are optional, by the way. You don't have to put them on. I really like back pockets, though. I like breaking up the back of fabric. not that this print's gonna break anything up. How's the lighting, you guys? Does it look okay to you guys? Oh, how weird. I just clicked over there and, oh, my chat. Oh my gosh, you guys are not quiet at all. My chat wasn't scrolling. How weird. My hair looks great. Did I cut it? A couple weeks ago. Hi, Heather. How's it going? Oh my gosh. You guys have been talking up a storm. Sorry I missed it. I'm using the Coca fabric. It's like a linen cotton canvas. Not quite a bottom weight, but great for these like casual pants, you know. Top stitching jeans equals quiet. Yeah, I know, right, Louise? I feel like I've seen that side detail on pants as well. You're trying to thread your overlocker. The struggle is real for sure. I know. Maybe you were a little quiet. You just finished those quadra jeans? I keep meaning to look those up. The fly gave you all kinds of issues. Where I can't remember, Heather. Are those Thread Theory? I had trouble sewing the fly on the Jutland pants by her, and I got the logic of it, but it didn't speak to me. This is for you, almost done. So I decided, I did like a hybrid. It was kind of on the fly. I will not hide the fact that I was kind of like, ooh, wait, I don't really know what's going on here. So now I just stick to the fly method that I know. And I kind of adopted the one that's used in the Ginger Jeans pattern. So that fly on that one, like I appreciated the way she did it because she was sewing it as if it was finished already, you know? Their Thread Theory, yeah. Yeah, they were hard for me to understand. But a lot of people like the way that pattern does it. So yeah. Oh good. Well, that's good. Yeah, mine's pretty different, and it's definitely taken from the Ginger Jeans thing, and that is the way I've always sewn flies, the way they do it. So that I just was like, perfect, this is how I'm going to do it. I had no idea people were sewing them so many different ways, you know. All right. I'm actually gonna start down here. That way I don't have to have a back stitch. Me and my weirdness about back stitches. Make sure that this is nice and straight. You could iron it first too. That always really helps get a nice straight edge. Let's see, is that one stitch away? Not quite. All right, so again, I'm just gonna tuck this little corner under here, and then that way when I stitch across it, it kind of secures it in there, you know? Next up is our flat felling of the seams already. Is this 3 stitches across? Let's see, what was this one? It was only 2, okay. I'll stop. I keep forgetting I really want to have labels, but I just don't know if I can really warrant that expense. Like, I'm not going to buy a 10-pack of labels that go through that in a month, but still, I would like some. Yay! Oh, right, Heather. I know the flies are kind of the same sewing. Sometimes the top stitching is a little different, though. Oh, nice, Louise. That's so smart. Yeah, right? Exactly, Heather. I forgot that's what she does. Yeah, I know. I know, but, you know, it speaks to some people. It's, like, so funny how we all learn differently. And we're all, like, you know, what speaks to us and what doesn't. So, yeah, I totally get you on those. I want to make another pair of those. Now that I know how they fit my husband, I would make some changes for sure. I didn't do the quadra, I did the Jutland, but I remember the quadra. All right, so our pants are done. Now we get to do the flat filling. So I marked this at the top. So I'm gonna mark this one too. Not that I'm going to forget right now on this one, but I do need to know which is the front and which is the back. Does this one of these have a double? Does one of these have a double notch? Let's see. All right, let's look at my notches on here. See, I would put a double notch right at the top there. So let's look at it. Where's the curve? I'll go grab the pattern piece. I want to make sure I get this right. Okay, so this is a double notch. It's kind of hard to tell. I thought it was a single for a second there. And it goes up towards on the waist a little bit. So you know that this is the back side. Double always means back. It better in this case because that's what I'm about to do. One way to check it is to see if it lines up to the seam you're about to sew. So if you line it up on its seam line, it's a good double check. This looks like it would, and so let's flip it and see how the other side would. And see, the other side is about 3/4 of an inch off. So that I know that this, perfect. So this is the one I need for this pair, or this side. Right. See that? I like this. You're excited for the flat belly. Hi Janice, how's it going? Yeah, they can be kind of expensive. I know. I have like 2,000 left from my last business, but I'm not putting a chicken boots label in these, you know. And a lot of times I just use a ribbon. Yeah, see Nancy, exactly. I just use a little ribbon like that too, especially for the backs of things. Oh, that's cool, Eliza. You have like a signature ribbon. Oh, is it Melinda that was looking for the Spoonflower discount? Sign up on their newsletter. They have sales very often. But you don't sure about those pockets at your hips. Yeah, exactly. All right, so you start your flat felt seam as if you're doing a French seam. So you're gonna do it wrong sides together. And I'm gonna double check the seam allowance because I can't remember what it is. And I want my pants to fit, you know? And I hope it's easy to find the seam allowance. Where is it? I have to admit, I don't print out all the pieces of paper, just the ones I need. Let's see, let's go to the step, maybe it'll say. 5/8, phew, okay, good. So you don't have to do these flat felt seams. You could just sew your pants together and then finish the edge, you know? My nose is so itchy today. I was having to say hello to everybody. Yeah, exactly. All right, so 5/8 inch, so line it up on the seam line. Your little angle here is gonna poke above, but that's because it needs to. So line it up on the seam line and then stay on that 5/8. Seam allowance is always really important if you want the garment to fit. I feel like I'm being patronizing by saying that, but I'm just stating that. But it's really important in things like this as well because you're going to stitch it twice. You need enough to be able to do the flat felling part. And in French seams, you can end up doing too much seam allowance and then your things will get smaller. And it'll get smaller incrementally because if you use 1/8 of an inch on each piece, at each seam, it's 1/4 of an inch at every seam. You know, 4 seams down, you're down an inch. So, and that sometimes those inches are really important. All right, let's line up my bottom here. You're watching this part, yeah. So it's wrong sides together. This one is a 5/8 inch seam. It's got to be a somewhat generous seam allowance because otherwise you're not going to be able to do the next step. Because sometimes I've been like, you know, I'm not going to finish this. Like I'm not going to seam finish it, and then I have only 3/8 of an inch to work with, so I can't really do a whole lot with that. So here, I'm going to make sure I follow her directions the way she does it exactly, so that I don't steer any of you awry. Let's see, she has you do your first one at 5/8, and then you're going to trim, finish the seam edges together. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. Here we go. Sorry. Flat fell. 5/8. And then trim the inner seam allowance, the seam allowance towards the panel, on the one on the panel. And then you fold it over and you hem it. I mean, there's really not many other ways you could do it. So I'll do this one first. So I'm going to trim it down. I'm going to trim it to like, so let's see, let's trim off almost 3/8 and see what we think. Let's just see what happens. So then my next step is that I'm going to fold this over like this and stitch it down. Like that. Yep, no adjusting size. You're kind of locked in. Very true. I mean, the worst case scenario, maybe you take out one to make some adjustments, you know? But, you know, I'm sewing these straight through. I'm going all the way through the elastic waist. So there's not going to be a whole lot of adjustment for me anyway. I did not sew a muslin. I'm trusting in her size chart. And I'm trusting that I've sewn a couple of her other patterns and they fit me, and I'm just stuck to a size 12 as well. So I'm only trimming the seam allowance towards the little panel. I think visually it could look like I'm cutting both. This is so awkward. It's so awkward on camera for some reason. I don't know why. I like to stand up and do things. I think that's part of it. So sitting down and doing anything for me unless I'm sewing is so awkward. All right, there you go. Let's see. I think I want to iron this. So I'm going to do the other one too, and then I'm going to iron. So I'm going to prep them all, iron them, and then I'm going to do the last step. So you're going to have to watch all the way. This is the back. This is the front. No, this is the back. Wait, this is the back. This is the back. Why'd this feel like? Here we go. Right, Carol, that's so funny. I noticed that my daughter had put the, so I made the South Bank sweater. It was in my needle sharp box. And it turned out amazing. Like the fabric in that box was so amazing. It was like this merino bamboo, I think, fleece. So amazing, so soft, so high-end feeling. And then I accidentally, because I usually always just take fabric I buy immediately home and I wash it. And then I bring it back here so I don't have to worry about it. But when it comes in my needle sharp box, I keep forgetting because it's in the box. It comes to me a different way. I just like love seeing the box. I open the box, I put it on the shelf. It looks cute, you know, whatever, I forget. And then I go to make it and I forget, oh, I haven't pre-washed this fabric, you know. And I did not think about that one. It was like my second box until I had already cut out the front and the back. And so I was like, well, shoot. And so I stopped right then. I washed the rest of the fabric, cut out the sleeves. I know. And then I just hoped for the best. And so then I made the garment. It fit me. It looked pretty saucy. It was cute. I made it as a dress. And it was something so out of my comfort zone, the whole silhouette. And then I washed it again and it just shrank too much. But my daughter, who's a little bit taller than me, but very slight, it fit her perfectly. It looks so cute. But I also know she and I have the same thing about turtlenecks and anything's pressing on our neck, you know? And so I wasn't sure if she'd like it, and she said she liked it and everything, and she wore it a few times. I was like, oh wow, she's actually wearing it. And then I saw it in the donate pile, and I was like, oh, I know it's the neck. And so yesterday I took it back here, and I took off the turtleneck and I made it a crew neck, and I gave it back to her today. I was like, so, because if she's not gonna wear it, I'm gonna give it to someone who will, because I actually really like it, and I don't like forcing people to wear my makes. Or I'll donate it, but you know, I just want to know. This edge right here got serged by accident by me. Do I ever do the serging on camera? You know, Heather, I did the other day, I made the Lucida dress, and I actually did that all on my serger. It's more of a logistics thing because moving the cameras around is kind of tricky. I can only have so many cameras hooked up before my computer says nope. And having the serger right here is a space constraint. So I just pre-serged all the edges so I could sew it together. What I like about that is that I can make adjustments as I go. What I don't like about that is it is a little bulkier for the finished product. For something like these pants, it's no big deal, but on some tops, that 2 layers of serging on a seam, it's not ideal. I agree with that. A lot of times I'm just doing French seams and finishing things like that, so I don't have to use the serger. A lot of people here don't have a serger, so I feel like good about that for that reason, you know. The serger's a little noisier too. I meant to ask you guys how the noise was on the serger the other day. Like, did it bug you? Could you hear me still? All right, so that one's ready for me to press and then do the last step, the fun part. I'm going to prep this one so that I can iron them both at the same time. Yeah, because I am pretty strategic. Oh. Do I... Do you ever cheat? I thought you said, do you ever chat and serge the pant seams? Oh, I don't. I don't like the way the serger seam looks when you pull apart the seam on the outside. But I do on knits, like this whole dress, I use the serger and the cover stitch. Same with the Lucida. Yeah, I just serge it together and I'm done. But on wovens, not so much. I really like the single needle straight stitch for the seam. There's nothing wrong with serging your wovens together though. You can totally do it. It's not cheating at all. Go for it. Do it. It's faster. I totally get it. Do whatever you want. Yeah. I don't sew a lot off camera, mainly because I don't need any more clothes than I'm making here already. So there are a few things I'm going to soon because I actually need some tops. And I already sewed the top on camera the other day, a couple weeks ago. And so I'm just going to make it for myself. It sounded like a serger and you can still hear me. Okay, good. That's good to know. I feel like it's a little ruffly right there. It's because when I basted the pocket to the seam, I started and went from the top down, which I should have gone from the bottom up because the bottom was already sewn. So there's like a little bit of easing. I used to only sew with my serger, like you always serge your clothing seams, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can do them together, which is nice too, you know? The only reason I'm doing them separately is so that I'm not bouncing back and forth here, and logistics, that's all. But yeah, you know, I would totally do that. Nothing wrong with that. That's how a lot of ready to wear is made. It's faster. Okay, I gotta do this right-handed like this, I think, maybe. I don't want to accidentally catch the fabric underneath because that is showing on the outside. This is like one time your seam allowance, I did. See, I just cut into that right there. Ooh. I just cut into my seam allowance. That's what I was about to say. You got to be careful with your seam allowance because this is actually my flat felled seam. I'm going to go like this. This is when I want one of those emoji faces. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some fusible interfacing behind it and try and make that fold a little bit wider right there. Now I'm scared. Now I'm scared. I think pressing this open, pressing this first before you trim, a little better. You always accidentally cut your other fabric. Yeah, I feel like it doesn't happen as often anymore, but it still happens. What can I do? I'm just going to like I said, I'm going to put some fusible interfacing behind it. And then I'm going to try and fold a little past it and stitch it down. It's not the end of the world. You know, it's not ideal. Exactly. Lisa, exactly. You sound like a Fortnite player. They just came out with an emote. And that is exactly it. All right. Wouldn't it have been really sad if I would have gotten to the bottom and I was supposed to be cutting on that side? That would have been really sad. I just had that feeling. All right, so don't let me forget that. So here it is. Where's my little hole. It's right here. I mean, here's another backup plan. I like backup plans. I could raise the pocket up and then do the same on the other side. It's only that much, you know? But I'm just gonna put some fusible interfacing behind it. fold it a little more, top stitch it down. It might be a little thready right there. Womp womp. Let's trim this a little bit better. This is just the seam allowance poking out from under my pocket, just so it looks nicer. All right, where's my other front? Here's my other front. Things like that happen. Yeah, right, Joy? Yeah, nice to see you. Yeah, Malin, you know, you guys heard my story about the Audrey jean jacket, right? I was all done with that thing. And I really loved sewing that thing. Like, I love sewing the Audrey jean jacket. I spent a lot of time off camera, like looking over the seams and making sure everything looked good. Yeah, right. That's true, Carol. I actually could zigzag it and make it look like a detail. Good idea. But yeah, so I was cutting the buttonholes. I was already done. All I had to do is cut the buttonholes. And I did not cut where you think I cut, by the way. Like, I know the sweary sewer. Oh man, Rachel, I'm sorry you're going through that. Don't you have a color code schematic? That is like the key with those things, man. So I was pressing the seam ripper. I was using a new one because that denim was really thick. I think it was like a 14-ounce non-stretch denim. And as I was pressing, it pushed a little hard, but I didn't go through into the buttonhole, which would have been tragic as well. It jumped and went through the middle of my collar in the middle of nowhere, you know? And it was it was such a clean cut, I couldn't see it. I was like, wow, I thought I just cut my jacket somewhere. I can't find it. I looked over and I couldn't even see it. And yeah, there it was, perfect clean cut. So what I did was I put a little bit of double-sided interfacing in there, like Stitch Witchery or Wonder Under. And that I have like this narrow bit of it from buying IKEA curtains like 15 years ago, and they put it in there for people who don't sew. They can hem their curtains by ironing it. Whoa, stop. And I use a little bit of that, and so far it's fine. And once it starts showing wear, I'll probably applique it or something, or have a friend applique it. You cut your tee the other day. Oh no. Yeah, I mean, knit is the worst to have a little hole in, right? I would watch the Sweary Sewer, by the way. I would subscribe to that. Trust me, I thought about just letting loose occasionally here. I did get my inspiration from gaming streams, and there's a heck of a lot of that going on. So remember, you trim the seam allowance on the piece that is the panel, the one you're going to flat fell toward. That's the way to look at it. You're flat felling toward the panel. You're finishing it. I think angling my scissors is also, angling them like this is better. Because underneath it's folded back, and if I tilt it, I might get that fold. It'd be fun to have a camera underneath stuff like this, you know? Oh, let me get my iron going so it's hot. I always turn off the strip when I go, the power strip. So I knew I couldn't just tilt the iron from here. I bought some knit. Everything I bought from Hearts color coordinates. Right, Eliza? You know, it's so funny because of all the things I can control on my chat, There is an awful lot of control for me. I can ban words. I can like it'll just automatically delete your message for certain words. That's why sometimes when you guys write but, it'll hold it for review. And I had to like take off all the restrictions because I think I had just like, oh yeah, just put the recommended ones on there, and it didn't even like the word but. I was like, okay, in sewing we talk about buts, you know, and more. All right. Another way to ensure you don't do it from this side. All right, let me find my Wonder Under. I can fix that. See, it was this stuff that I got. It put it on an old ribbon spool. I have so much of it, but it's double-sided, so it's basically glue, heat-set glue. All right, let's adjust the iron. Where are you, camera? Oh yeah, see, it's a little bit off. Where is it? Is it this one? There it is, right there. You know what? I'm gonna get just regular fusible interfacing. This is too much, I think. I got regular fusible interfacing because I don't need it to be double-sided. There we go. I need to get it out of the way too. You know, Heather, I actually didn't pick out the watermelon fabric that Hearts gave me. They picked it out, and I was like, when they showed it to me, the look on my face, they're like, oh no, you don't like watermelons, is that too much? I was like, no, I love watermelons. You just gave watermelon fabric to the right girl. I already have a watermelon dress, and I've been threatening all week to wear it. So I had to send that dress back. I don't get to keep it. So I still only own one watermelon dress, but I sure love that fabric. It was cute. This one is a spoon flower. So I was pressing it towards the panel. Excuse me. Siobhan, how's it going? You're in a truck show in Pennsylvania. I don't get to keep it because they sponsored it. So they gave me the pattern and the fabric, and so I just said, hey, you know, if you ever need store samples, you can give me fabric and a pattern, and I will sew it and give it to you. And the reason for that mostly is because if I sew even just one garment a week for a year, I'd have 52 new garments every year, and I just don't need that much, you know. And if I really like it, I could always make it. I could always buy it and make it myself. So they were just kind enough to give me the fabric and the pattern, and then I just sent it all back. And it's something I'm hoping will happen more often here because, like I said, I really don't need all of the garments. And sometimes people just need samples and store things. You know, pattern companies, fabric stores. I just got to build that trust up. You know, I don't know. They just don't really get what I'm doing. Where's my steam? Okay. Yeah, Liza. Guess what, Siobhan? I have to look around my camera to see that. Yes, cursing is encouraged. Literally, if you saw the list of names I was looking at for my stream, one of them was the Salty Sewer. So there you go, Rachel. You can have it. The Salty Sewer. Cursing required, but serger optional. Irish people do swear at that. That's true. Okay, let's do some flat felling. So this is the second and last step. And basically, yeah, you're just going to hem it right over that seam allowance that you trimmed. It kind of just wants to do it, to be honest. It's really satisfying. And what's nice about doing this as opposed to French seams is French seams run the risk of the little threads poking out, you know? This way you can see the threads and poke them in there. So it is kind of a, you know, multi-step process, but so is French seams. We don't get to do this one very often, though. I've done this before I knew what this was, but I did it on the inside of my garment. I would like hem my seam allowances over because I'm like, oh shoot, I can't serge this spot and it's too late to do anything else. So I would just do it on the inside of a garment. I had no idea what I was doing was sort of like flat felling. So you can take out this basting stitch right here if it's in your way. Just take it out. Mine's working totally fine. I knew this was coming, so I put it really close to the edge. But I could see following those instructions, you might not know that the flat felling was an option coming up, and you might put that edge. Like right here, it's kind of fighting me, so I'm going to get rid of some of it. When it gets a little thicker, sometimes it'll start puckering. And I really don't want that, so I'm just going to get rid of a little bit of it here. So... Each episode. She has to warm up, huh? Right now, she's probably heading to the wine cabinet because she's not even seeing what we're saying. She's like, I am over this effing serger. Okay, there's my little trouble spot. So I'm actually going to trim this a little bit. My flat fell is going to be a little narrower there. And only you guys know, so don't tell anybody. This is my little spot where I accidentally trimmed. So I'm going to try and get it under there like that. Where's my awl? There we go. Okay, so it's a little narrower right there, but at least I got that cut piece under there, right? If I knew if these were big or not, I could take in the seam allowance right there. So there, that's how it looks. It looks nice, huh? And then on the inside, look at that. Nice and clean. Yes, right? I know. Yeah, totally. Finger gymnastics, exactly. I know mine has this nifty tool, but I don't even use it because just using the tool was such a steep learning curve. You know? I was like, screw this. I'm just going to use, you know, what I know how to do. All right, so it's going to get a little thick right here. I'm going to take out a little bit of this. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to trim this. You see, my pocket doesn't go all the way to the edge there, so I'm going to trim this to the pocket a little bit. Gives me a greater chance of being able to fold it over enough. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to take out part of the seam allowance because sometimes it just won't fold over and lay flat. It'll kind of pucker. So let's just take out a little bit. I'm using my awl. I'm trying also to keep the underside nice and flat. It'd be easier to get a little pleat under there. Oh, bye, Siobhan. See you later. Yeah, right, Carol? Totally. Yeah, I do like that air threading on my serger. But I've had sergers that were easy to thread too. Like what I don't like about the air threaders, I feel like I'm totally dependent upon it because I can't get into some of the areas because the air threader does it. So I think it just comes from having machines that I could work on. It makes me a little nervous, but it's never been an issue. They've always worked. Just releasing the tension from my basting stitch right there. It's a little thick with my binding. The more I play at it, it gets all frayed. So I'm going to try and make sure I get this all under. Just like this. Something I didn't think about. So I'm pulling my seam apart like this too because I want it to be flat on the underside. You don't want to accidentally kind of, you can end up doing this, like pulling this over a little bit like that and then getting like a pleat underneath, and you don't want that. Yeah, tweezers are great. I have a pair. I've just gotten good at threading the needle without them, but sometimes I have to go get them because I don't have them in the machine anymore. I pull them out for something else and I keep forgetting to put them back in the machine. That's why I also got kind of good at it because I didn't want to get up and get my tweezers. I have this dumb habit when I'm threading my needle of the way I do it, the thread's around my finger. So I'll get it through the needle and then I have to pull my finger out and it'll unthread the needle. It's such a weird, bad habit I started by accident decades ago. So some of those bad habits, they just stick. All right. One seam down. Nice and clean so that when you roll up your cuff, you see that, you know, rather than serging or even French seam would look nice, but you would still see the seam. So, oh, hello, Flume. How's it going? I know, right? I know. We just don't get an opportunity to use them. They're kind of underrated. The other thing I really like is binding seams, but my binding is all quilting cotton right now. I have very few that are lightweight. And I feel like that can be a little bulky. So I haven't done that. I haven't done it in a while. I did it on the unlined Howery jacket. That turned out really good, but that was a boiled wool. So the quilting cotton ended up being really lightweight compared. So after this step, we have the inseam and the waist. And that's it. I can't believe we did 2 things this week. I wanted to, you know, I'm trying to cut down on my garments by doing the sponsored streams, but I didn't have anything for Saturday. That thing went so quick. I'm gonna have to pace it better. Do cutting on Thursday and sewing on Saturday if they're gonna be quick ones like that. Just trimming these little threads here before I get to them. A little bit of a slow grind, huh? You can pin it all first. Pinning it and then sewing it is going to take me just as much time as not pinning it and then sewing it. But I will get rid of some of this right here because it is preventing me from folding it over nice and flat, you know. Hi, Julia. Oh yeah, totally, exactly. I mean, that's the thing is like I don't have any binding that is lightweight enough for binding on the interior. You know, it would be bulky, and also it might get hung up on your clothes. You know, if it was something you're wearing over something else. So. Yeah, I used to work, I didn't work for this company actually, but I did their patterns. I did patterns for lots of people, and one of these companies, they used so much organza. It was crazy. But they didn't naturally dye. They garment dyed all their garments. I'm just taking out my basting stitch where the pocket goes to the side seam here. I think the best thing is a lightweight slippery fabric, but that isn't too cheap or loosey-goosey, you know? Yeah, you really feel the difference when you wear those garments, huh, Louise? What's the, well, you serge it and top stitch down. Oh, so on the inside then? What are you sewing, Julia? Oh, on an arm side, that would be kind of tough. Yeah, especially because you also then are pushing the seam allowance of the armhole up towards the body. You have to have the right kind of armhole for that. The sleeve seam allowance pressing toward the sleeve looks nicer on the body. And you can only have certain types of armholes that'll actually work where it won't look weird. Not to mention it's tricky to sew. Ooh, this serging might give me trouble over here. This is the pocket I accidentally serged. Oh, I don't want to take that out. I don't want to take it out. This is when you wish your serging was a, like, you know, you can catch the chain stitch and pull it. This is actually going pretty good, but we'll see. We'll see. It might be faking me out right now. I gotta get rid of some of it though. Otherwise it's too hard to work around. Oh, this might work. There we go. Let's wipe it away. Oh, you're making another shirt for Walter. Nice. For, is this your husband? Is Walter your husband or your son, Julia? I know you made a shirt for your son. Is this for your husband? For Father's Day, maybe? Or just a nice thing to do? See, instead of fighting, trying to get that serging to hide, just got rid of it, you know? Oh, your Jenny trousers are the floral ones, right? Those things are amazing. Husband, yeah, okay. That's nice. Now that I know my husband lurks in my chat, I gotta be careful what I promise to sew for him. Because then he'll be like, hey, I heard you say you were going to make a shirt for me. I think I saw the first shirt I ever made for him in his closet like last year still. I couldn't believe he still had it. All right, it's my last one, guys. Thanks for bearing with me. Takes a while, eh? But ever so nice on the inside. So you can also do a French seam on the inseam for like a short distance if you really want that full finished interior if you're going to cuff these. So if you're planning on cuffing them and you even want your inseam to be finished, you can do a partial French seam, and she shows you how to do that. We could totally do it if you want. I wasn't going to, I don't plan on cuffing these because they're already cropped. I love when I get towards the end, I can kind of fold it all over. It just really wants to fold over that seam allowance. It's so satisfying. That's super satisfying. It's like sewing binding for me. The Lander, oh cool. Henry, that's right, that's your oldest. He likes the crazy cave facet fabrics. Like, yeah, that's awesome. Oh yeah, the Jenny overalls and trousers. I think I have those. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have those. The Wahoot pants. What's the Wahoot pants? Oh, you like the cave facet? Yeah. Super amazing. Okay. This is how they're looking so far. Wait, I like that. Back pocket. Very cute. All right, so people are always hesitant to sew pants, and I don't know why, because they're honestly construction-wise really easy. Oh, Walter. I know, autocorrect. By Waffle Patterns. Oh my gosh. They're honestly really easy, especially if you're not putting in a zipper fly. A Project Runway contestant a long time ago said they're like sewing two sleeves together, and it's kind of true, because here you go. We're going to do the inseam, which would be the underarm of the sleeve. Oh gosh, I just pulled that right out of my... There we go. Match up my hems, and then just go. This is a lot faster than a flat felling. But yeah, Heather, you could just serge these together if you wanted. I'm just not a big fan of how my machine makes them look, you know? Yeah, right, Eliza? But these are nice and loose. They're like pull-on, so I feel like this is a good one, you know? Oh, wow. That's probably a collector's item, Julia. I recognized it, too. I was like, oh, I haven't seen that print in a while, but it was a good one. All right. Nice and quick when it's already been finished, right? So now I'll have 2 legs. I'm going to turn one right side out and one inside out, and then put one leg into the other. I don't even need to do that really. You just need to match up the rise, but one needs to be right side out and one needs to be inside out to do it. It's a little easier, just like this. There's no way to really do this wrong unless you've sewn your fronts to your fronts and your backs to your backs, you know? What happened? It's the fitting, exactly. Bye, Flume. Pick me up a watermelon. Oh no, Rachel! Oh, I'm so sorry. Can you use one of those backs and cut out the front from it and cut your other front, or did you already cut all of it? That's such a bummer. I have done that. It's so hard to remember sometimes to flip the pattern piece, you know? This is a really big rise. I'm gonna open up my seams here. Yeah, am I gonna do that? Yeah, I'm gonna open up my seam. I'm actually not gonna open up my seam. It's not gonna cut down on the bulk to open it up because there's 2 layers either way. And I feel like the seam won't separate as easily if I push them one way and the other. There's probably theories on that I should experiment. It's nice when your rise seam right there matches up, but don't beat yourself up if it doesn't, you know? Right, Julia, exactly. Hope you like that fabric. Now you can have 2 pairs. All right, now we got some pants. These are kind of crazy. They look kind of big. But they're cute. It's so overexposed. That look better. Oh. Oh, I hope they have a bit left. That is a bummer. Okay, what did she say? She has a specific way she suggests pressing the rise seam. I can't remember. She said the wearer's left. Let's check it out. Top stitch the rise seam to the wearer's right. To the wearer's right. So I'm gonna see. It might be a little easier if I put my pants inside out to do this. It's funny how sometimes when your pants are inside out, it's easier. Yeah, I think it'll be easier because now all of my pant is gonna sit up above the machine like this. Right, exactly, Louise. That's exactly it, Louise. Yeah, they are. There is some ease on them. I think it's like 7 inches positive. And I did the like size where I'm like right at the top of because I don't want too much more than that. But I do want them to be comfortable. Okay, so the wearer's right. Right? Is that what she said? She said the wearer's right. So this way. And press the seam that way. This is the front of the pant. So trying to keep most of the pant up here on the table because of the I don't want it pulling on my needle or anything like that, or just fighting me as I'm trying to sew. Ooh, I matched my rise up so good. It didn't feel that way when I was doing it. Don't twist, don't twist. Just feel, make sure all your seam allowances are going that way. Okay. Cool. All right, so there's a waist facing. I actually left this pattern piece out because I always get confused with like waistband facings and stuff. You prepared for bed. Which show really? You've been piling stuff up on your bed, Ida. Let's see, is it like this maybe? There's a little notch right there. There we go, okay. So it's interesting, there's a double notch right there. And that double notch there usually means center back. But because it's printed with this right side up, I would have assumed that this is the, and it looks like that's the waistband like this. But I kind of want to line up these notches like this. Oh no! I'm looking at this in the wrong way. Yeah. This is it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, big. It's because you sew it to that and then turn it down, right? Let's look at it. Okay. This is how it goes. All right. Because the waist facing sits along the top here, inside the pant, you know? I like that she gives you a little like, hey, you know, like once you sew your waist facing together, check it out. Make sure it's going to fit your waistband on your pants before you start sewing it on. Because, you know, it is a lot of seams here. There may be a little bit of discrepancy between the two, and kind of cut yourself some slack to kind of make some adjustments in the facing to match the pant, you know? Like, it's drafted properly, but hey, we know mistakes can like kind of, you know, add up a little bit here when you're cutting and sewing. Let me get rid of some of these threads so they don't end up poking out my seam onto the right side. Look at that, top stitch this and then it missed. There we go. All right, right sides together. Now, I will tell you one little trick that you could do is serge the long edge of the waist facing and maybe trim off about a 1/2 inch. I think it's you check your instructions. I think it's a 1/2 inch turn under or maybe a 1/4 inch turn under. And then you wouldn't have to turn it under and top stitch it down at the end. You could just top stitch it down if you overlock it, if you can do that, or zigzag it, whatever you like. I'm not going to do that because I'm going to stick the instructions just in case some of you are like, I want to see you do that, you know? So let's check my waist facing to the pant. And it looks pretty good. So I'm going to go for it. But I'm going to check the seam allowance, make sure. I like that she used 3/8 on that pocket facing. So it makes me think that maybe she didn't do 5/8 right here. So I'm going to double check. I didn't do the clips in the rise. I'm not too worried about that because when the curve is going to stay curved like this, I don't have a problem with it. It doesn't usually bind up for me. See how you turn under, it's 3/8. So you could trim off that 3/8 with your serger and then just top stitch it down flat when you get to the last step. Right here, right there. Oh, it doesn't say. So I'm going to assume it's 5/8. I could measure it. Let's measure it. Because it's 2-inch elastic plus 5/8 inch. So 3/8. And then that leaves 5/8. Okay. Alrighty. Alright, so, oh, sorry guys. So I put my waistband on there. Like I said, I always like sewing these circles so that they're all above my machine. It's because I don't have a machine with a free arm, right? Because mine sits flush with the table. So if you have a free arm, you don't have to do it that way. Just make sure you keep your pant out of the way. And I still need to pull off an elastic miracle since I don't have 1.5 inch elastic. I'm like, do I do 3 channels of 1/2 inch? Do I do 2 at 1 inch? It's actually 1.5 inch elastic. So this seam allowance is probably definitely 5/8. Plus there's a little bit of room for the paper bag waist style. Your non-negotiable points are your centers. So you can use those, get back on track. You guys doing anything special for Father's Day? Those of you celebrating it? Is it Father's Day tomorrow in Europe anywhere? I mean, it is in Canada, so I kind of thought maybe. And maybe Great Britain. We're gonna have a brunch. Like I said, I'm kind of low-key about that stuff, and I forget other people really like to celebrate it, and I know my mom would like to for my dad. Alright, I'm going to understitch it. I'm going to take my chance and leave it right side out. This is the back, so that's where I'm going to start my understitching. It's a big enough waist for my pair because of the ease and my size that I'm not too worried about catching the pant under there. Now, if you edge stitch your waist, like if you fold this down and edge stitch it, just know that that takes up some of the space where your elastic needs to go, you know? Hi Lorraine, how's it going? I use a Juki 8700 Industrial. I love it. I've had it almost a year. Before that, I always had 5500s, and if you're looking to get a Juki, those are really great, and you can find them used for really affordable. Mine has electronics, You don't need the electronics in order to sew. Like if you want to save money, skip the electronics, but I will tell you the electronics are really what make the industrial sewing so nice. And all that means is that when I press on my heel, my presser foot goes up, and then when I press harder on my heel, like right here, it'll cut it. I forgot to back tack though. Let me back tack. And then I press and it cuts the thread, and I can lift up the presser foot. You can also set it so that when you press it, it does the back tack and then cuts it. And it's the same at the beginning too. When you start sewing, if you have the back tack setting on, it'll back tack first and then keep going. Oh, you're painting, Ida. Got it. The kid gets the day away. That's what my family did for me for Mother's Day, Julia. Yeah, me either, Malin. I'm just not a big deal. I hate that I'm not very sentimental that way. So I have to remember, like, oh, you know, my husband deserves some Father's Day recognition, you know. But at the same, I don't really, I don't want anything on Mother's Day. They went on a hike. I was like, you guys can just go somewhere. That'd be great. Which sounds terrible. I know. I just like no obligations, you know. Yeah, it's kind of a paper bag waist style. It's not, okay. It's not a paper bag waist style technically, but you see that it is pretty loose up there. Paper bag style would be more along the lines of, say that this was even wider. You would stitch here, not put elastic somewhere, you know, like just put a row of stitching up here and then put your elastic in, and then this would crinkle above the elastic. What happened, Eliza? I don't do buttonholes with this. Oh yeah, right, Eliza, I know. And that's the thing, is like this time of year can be really hard for people. It's like a lot of holidays. All right, so let's figure out what I'm gonna do with my elastic. Let's see. Oh. Well, maybe if I would have looked closer, I would have noticed I had 2-inch and I could have made them wider. Let's see. This is my elastic offering. I have 1-inch, tons of 1-inch. I have 3/8. I thought I had 1/2 inch. That would be really nice. Or if I had 2 3/4. Ooh. What's this? What's this? Are they big enough? No. I have 1 3/4. I mean, I could try and do 1 3/4, or I could do, let's see here. I have probably room to do 3/4 than 1, but that kind of makes it wider than I want. I could do 4 rows of 3/8. Yeah, that's nice, Louise. Yeah. Yeah. That is pretty special. Yeah, see, Lisa, exactly. I mean, I feel like it's just not a holiday for everybody. You know, it would be tough for me, for sure. Okay, you guys, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do here. I wish I had 1/2 inch. I meant to go to the fabric store yesterday and I was like, well, is this 1/2 inch? Oh, this is 1/2 inch. I just don't like this kind of elastic. Let's see. Okay, so I could do 2 rows of 1/2 inch and then maybe 1 of 3/8. Aw. Yeah, see, there's more people in the world that can relate to this than we realize, right? Yeah, I feel like I'm so bad at remembering that sometimes. And there's people around me that have definitely lost their parents, you know? I need to be more sentimental. I'm trying. All right, let's see. I have 2 1/2 inch. I could do a row of 1 inch and a row of 1/2 inch, which is, it's okay, you know? Oh wow, 82 and 80. Aw. Wow, that's amazing, Eliza. All right, so note to self, I'll buy new elastic for my next pair. I think she says that you're gonna measure your elastic. Perfectly around your waist without stretching it, plus an additional 1/2 inch. An additional? That's interesting. Usually you take off because when it's stitched into there, it gets stretched out. Oh, because of the seam allowance, that's why. 65 years, dang. It's crazy. All right, so this is my scientific elastic. You know, I think I'm gonna do 3/4, 3/8 and 3/8. Subject change. You guys are lucky. What about 4 rows of 3/8? That seems like too much. It's gonna disrupt the way it looks. What if I just tried to use the 1/2 inch? Ooh, that's some wide elastic. What is this right here? Oh, this isn't enough. I've actually pieced together elastic this way. You know? I just zigzagged it together. It was fine. I think I still have the garment. It's fine. I really thought I had 1/2 inch. I mean, I do have 1/2 inch, but I don't have enough to do 3 rounds of it. Let's see. I could do 3/8 and a 1. If I do 3 3/8, it's not enough. If I do 4 3/8, it's a little bit. I may run out of room. And I can't make the waist facing you wait in the store. This is when you want Diner Dash to go to your fabric store, right? Or whatever you use to have your home food delivery. Can I order something at the taco truck next to the sewing store, and will you go in there and pick up elastic for me? There used to be this place when I lived in Boulder, Colorado. You could order pizza from there, and if you wanted something from the convenience store next door, they would go and get it for you. So you could literally get a pizza and then a pint of Ben and Jerry's, and then they would bring you it and then charge you for it. Such a bad combo. All right, let me see. I gotta figure this out. Now I could make the waist, I could make it just like with one row of 1 inch, but I'd have to cut down the waist because you can't just put in the elastic at the top. It just won't be proportional, right? You know, you can start that business. Yeah. I mean, literally, if you could buy it over the phone, you know, and say, hey, someone's going to pick it up, and they just pick it up and grab it for you. I mean, there are delivery services, right? I do have a teenager. Let's see how much room we have here. Let's see, 1 3/4. This is what spontaneous sewing gets me. I'm just going to do 1 3/4. I feel like it'll be the most consistent. The reason I'm not going to do the half is because it's thicker. You see that? And she has a driver's license as of right. Yeah, so I'm going to do 3/4 and 1 inch. And then that way I'm using the exact same elastic for both rows. I'm not usually a big fan of really wide waistbands like this, but I really like this pair. I think it's gonna be really cute. All right, so I'm gonna look at how she tells you to do it. The way I would do it is I would overlap my pieces of elastic and oh yeah. See, I would totally do it differently than how she will. I already looked at this. Yeah. So she has you top stitch your waistband down, feed in your elastic, and then secure the elastic. Excellent. That's fine. The way I would do it actually is a little different. And it's not that it's better. It's just the way it's different. I don't like feeding my elastic in a thingy. But I would just sew alongside of it. And I think I'm kind of going to do that because I have the channels. So I'm going to overlap my elastic. Now, when you secure your elastic, really secure it, okay? You're going to wrench on that puppy. You know? I really need these to be the same. There we go. So, maybe I will, let's see. Do I want to do that? Maybe I didn't want to do it that way. I'm a little nervous about it. Let's see. Because no, this is such a wide waistband, maybe feeding it would be better. Because what I would do now is I would just put my elastic in here, fold it over, and top stitch along the edge. And yes, it's going to start like wrinkling up, but you can get around it. You just smooth it out. Oh, in Botswana, really? I used to know friends that used to go there for a kids' educational thing for teens. That's awesome. That's great. Let's see. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? I also really like putting in elastic with the serger. You can't do that with this pair. Is this the front? Yeah, that's the front. So we want to start back here. Either way, I'm going to be having to do this channel with the elastic in there. Right? Yeah, I'm going to go for it. This may not be the way for you. Wait, do I want to do the, I'm going to do the 3/4 first. I'm going to do 3/4 on top. So I'm gonna fold it on top like this. I'm gonna stitch it in there. So the directions have you actually stitch down your waistband and just leave a section open and then feed it in there and then finish it. But you're only doing 1 row of elastic. I'm gonna do 2. And I don't wanna catch my elastic in there, but I also need this tunnel to be the right width. So I'm gonna start kind of away from it so I can feel it. It's kind of hard to feel because of the seam allowance. And then I'll double check it. If I catch the elastic, I can pop out those stitches and then fix them. But let's try not to catch the elastic at all. That's even better. I think this might help me not get a no-roll waistband too. Yep, still moving. Double checking. It'll be a little tricky, Eliza, but you can just smooth it out as you go. It may be a struggle to watch me. More appropriate question. Will this be hard to watch you do? The biggest thing when you do this also is that see, what I'm worried about too is my elastic will be big. Okay, see there how much I'm gonna have to stretch it there, but I can slide it in there. Is the fact that my one foot is on the elastic and the other one isn't, and so that sometimes causes more issues than anything else because it doesn't really like the uneven widths, you know. They would never in a factory feed the elastic through like with a safety pin or something, and that's kind of why I had to get good at this. So I'm gonna slide it along. There's my center front, so I'm just trying to make sure I keep straight up and down. No torquing, right? No torquing. We just say no to torquing. I'm kind of feeling, can you see it? There's my elastic right there. So I'm just going to the left of it. Oh, you guys, I like to keep you guys on the edge of your seat. I mean, my waist is big enough that really it's not that tight. You know, they're not a tight fitting pant. The elastic's not really tight. So if you were scrunching up fabric that was twice the length of your elastic, this would be really hard. Unless it was a really lightweight fabric like tulle, you know. Okay, there's my elastic seam right there, so I kind of want to make sure I don't catch it because it got a little thick right there. It's so funny how you can land on your stitches on one side right on top of it, but on the other side, they're off. You see that? It's like the needle's going in an angle, you know? I'm gonna reinforce that. Yeah, so there's just not a lot of gathers. I gotta really adjust them. But yeah, so that worked out really good. It's pretty smooth. Maybe I'll just leave most of them at the back for now. I feel like that's gonna be too big on me. I feel like it's gonna be too big on me. Generally, your elastic measurement is 1.5 inches smaller than your waist, but you need to account for this, but this is only taking up like 5/8 of an inch. And my fabric is a little thick. So now I'll do my last one. The key with doing this too is you need the elastic going above. It's really easy to get kind of hung up and not be able to get past your, ooh, am I going to be able to make it? I may not be able to make it. Maybe I need to do the 1/2 inch. Let's see, is it easier down here? Easier down here? I think it is, away from my seam. Okay. I'm just going to get away from the seam. All right, so I'm going to smooth it out best I can, and then I'm going to turn this under and edge stitch it. I'm going to get it started, and then I'm going to arrange. This might be a little wide. I may need to switch to the 1/2 inch. I didn't add to the seam or to the width of this facing to make my elastic wider, you know? So, you know, I am asking a lot of it right now. But there is space in there. There is space in there. You guys are all like, why am I making this hard on myself? Did I run out of, oh, I ran out of bobbin thread. That's the sewing fairy telling me something, you guys. Pretty convinced. All right. My machine winds a bobbin as I sew. All right, I ran out of bobbin thread there. Does that mean I ran out of bobbin thread when I did this? Yeah, I did. When I run out of bobbin thread, I always look at the last thing I sewed right beforehand if I didn't know. Riveted. So it's good I checked, because see, look, that little spot that I had taken out to smooth out, it actually hadn't gotten sewn. Oh, I forgot to sew a little before I started, so now I have thread vomit. Oh, that wasn't so bad. Phew. I don't like thread vomit. All right, so what is the sewing fairy trying to tell me? She's trying to tell me to switch to the 1/2 inch. If I had enough pieces of 3/4, I could piece them together. Yes, I've done things like that. I just don't like this 1/2 inch. I just don't like it. Oh, see, I do have enough. I can hear it. I don't like it. Yeah, I don't have the right width, exactly. 1.5 inch is pretty specific. I have 2 inch, I have 1 inch, and I have one piece of 3/4, and I have a little bit of 1/2 inch, but the 1/2 inch is not my favorite. I really like the braided elastic. This is braided. It's funny because it's not billed as like the no roll option, but the no roll option, I do not like it. I find it doesn't last. Bye, Heather. See you later. I'm gonna try and make this work, this 1 inch. So here's my backup plan. You know what I should do? I should run this edge through the serger, and then I'd have room. That's what I'm gonna do. So I had to think about it. So just a second, let me get my serger out. It's around here somewhere. Oh, it's right here. It's right here. Okay. All right, don't serge your pants. So I'm gonna put a serger edge here, and then I'll have a little bit wider of a seam allowance to deal with, and that way I can fit it in there. It does mean that my, ooh, I went flying. It does mean that my elastic might be, you know, a little lower on the waist. Yeah, Louise, I know. The different elastics are really confusing. Here's the foot pedal. I'm going to turn off that machine so I don't accidentally press the foot pedal, because I really like that foot pedal. So I'm just pulling it away from the pants. Voila. I like this backup plan. Man, my serger is flipping heavy. All right, now I have more to work with. Beep. I'm gonna put that center elastic seam kind of away from the center back, just so that I don't have the bulk of this and the bulk of my seam allowances to fight with. We'll just push it back there. Now I just need to sew on the serging. This will be a lot easier. I feel like I just cheated. I gotta make sure my stitching is straight though. It's like I keep forgetting it's gonna show on the outside. Cheating left and right here. I need to push it up higher. Get up there. There's room. There is room. It's looking pretty good on the outside though. I'm excited about these pants. They're cute. Oof. Come on. Mainly what happened is like when I sewed that first tunnel casing for this elastic up here, I was a little nervous and I was trying to make sure I didn't touch the elastic, which made me lose some of my seam allowance even more than I needed, you know, than I should have. So yeah, make it work indeed. I like that philosophy of Tim's. I'm walking away here with pants. But you know, let's see. 2 hours to sew pants is not bad with flat felled seams, crazy elastic modification, right? Took me less than an hour to cut them out. I had to tape the pattern together, so you have to add that in there, but she provides a easy way to see what pattern pieces you need for the view you want, so you don't have to cut, you don't have to print all of them out, and you don't have to tape all of them together. So that's kind of nice. All right, here we are. Let's see how I did. I'm a little nervous. So I probably need to spend some time like distributing my gathers so that the elastic is gathering in the same places as each other. But once I get that lined up, it'll be cute. Except for that right there. Did I really start and stop on my front? I know better than that. How did I think that was my back? What the heck? What do you mean? All right, I'm taking out a bunch of this. I really hate start and stops in the front, you guys. It just bug me. I'm gonna put it in this white here. So close, but so far away. I thought that I was on the back. I thought I was on the back. Let's get rid of this. I just need to hem them now too. Oh, you know, maybe I serged them starting on the front, and that's why I thought that I was on the back. Jeez. Yeah. I'm gonna sew from the front. I'm gonna sew from the front side. That way I can see where I'm at. Always better. I can feel the serging. I can feel the elastic. I'm gonna smooth out this transition here. Right there. Get rid of you right here. There. Way better. Where was that? Right here? Yeah, there we go. Okay. What do you think? Is it crazy? Well, I don't know about the binding. Very cute. Hi, Terry. Oh, did you find anything good? You probably found pants for 50 cents. You didn't have to sit here for 3 hours to make a pair. All right, I'm going to hem my pants. I'm going to press this seam. Do I want to? No, I'm not going to. I was about to say, do I want to top stitch my inseam? But I'm not going to do that. Not necessary. I like to fill my hem up with all fabric. I feel like I get less ironing after wash when I do. See, this is my back tack, and that's what I don't like it. I don't like it when it like flips into up here. It's gonna get turned under though. Not gonna worry about it. Socks and body oil, nice. Yeah, they look. I'm excited. I need to. So I was gonna say earlier, like every fabric I got almost from parts coordinates with each other. So I have some fabric over there. I need to make a little top to go with them. All right. I'm gonna trim some of these threads, make it a little easier. All right, so what are we making next week? I'm gonna do the 100 acts of sewing in July. So I need something to do next week. I have plenty of options. I was thinking about either shorts or a top. Those are the things I need. I need shorts and tops. I'm reaching up into my pant right now. The reason I'm doing that is I'm trying to see which way to press the seam allowance, because remember I pressed them opposite ways from each other at the rise. You had to find out every pattern I do, Lisa. Oh my gosh. That's a lot of sewing. And I always start on the inside and the inseam for starting. Have you made some of them, Lisa? I hope. I hope if any of you make anything from, like you get anything from Hearts, you'll let them know if their sponsorship contributed to that, because that'd be cool for them to know. They're always doing fun stuff too. Voila. Fini. Doo-doo-doo. Very cute. Meow, meow. Yeah? So let's roll up our cuffs. I mean, I'm not really going to with these, but so now you can see that flat felled seam in there looks really nice on the outside. Most likely someone wouldn't see your inseam, but you can totally French seam that. Oh, really? I need shorts and tops too, and not black t-shirts. Right, Eliza? What do you guys own? I have the, the City Gym shorts. Aren't those kind of short though? I have the Seamwork Weston shorts. Any of you have that? Why is this? Oh, there we go. So that would be, you know, the outside of your cuff right there. You know, nice and clean. This looks really big, but I know it's high-waisted, so. The City Gym shorts. Okay, let's surf the internet together. I haven't done my computer. Let's see if my computer thing is gonna work. Oh yeah. Where's my keyboard? Let's put in Pearl Soho. I better be careful what I Google on here. Oh, yeah, yeah. I knew exactly what you're talking about. I've seen these. Goes up to 46-inch hip. Oh, so this is a free pattern? Look at that stitching. What the heck? It looks hand stitched. What the heck? Does that, look at that stitching. Is that a drawing? That's a drawing, isn't it? It's got to be a drawing. Yeah. Oh. Let me make sure I can see your chat. See the chat a little bit. The shorts, not the trousers. Wait. You need to add a little bit of rise. Okay, good to know. The Westons don't have pockets. What do you mean? Oh, Nancy, 100 Acts of Sewing is a pattern company by Sonia Phillip. So she started a blog one year where she did 100 acts of sewing, and then she created some patterns as well. Blah, blah, blah. Let's check her out. They're very, very beginner friendly. They're very popular. They kind of have a cult following, I feel like. Do you remember that floral dress or shirt I did a long time ago? These are her patterns. Let's look up her hashtag. It's not dumb at all, just to ask that. I don't know about a lot of the pattern companies you guys mention. How do I... Oh, it's right here. Okay. Can I do that? I don't ever use the desktop mode. So lots of different silhouettes, but very simple silhouettes, very beginner friendly. Sonia Phillip is pretty adorable. Very loose fitting, curvy friendly. What else can I say? There are no dumb questions. Really good use of like fun prints as well. Exactly. This is Beyond Measure. This gal is Beyond Measure, and she's doing 100 acts of sewing sew along in July. Let's look at her Instagram. And then we'll talk about those gym shorts. Yeah, so very empowering for beginning sewists. There's Laura Jean and Shannon. I made that tea house dress out of that. She has pants #1, you know. And then sew 100. How do you post to Instagram on desktop? You can't, Eliza. You already use 100 things in July. I love Beyond Measure too, Louise. I met her at the Eden Yarn. Oh my God, Edinburgh Yarn Fest. She is so sweet. She has some really cool stuff. Eliza, you can't post anything on Instagram on a desktop. It's only for the phone. You can look at things. I think you can comment and like things, but that's about as far as you can go. This is Sonia Phillip. She does 100 acts of sewing. Known for her layers and fun prints together. She really empowers you to be bold. Really fun stuff. So that's her. Okay, so let's look at these city gym shorts. These are super cute. They look a lot like the Lakeside pajama bottoms, which I have. My only issue is I wouldn't wear these out. You know what I mean? They're not long enough for me. I mean, I could, I guess. Maybe I would. She said I gave her a little bag and she still used it. Aww. Really? That's awesome. I love it. You mean Sonia Phillip, right? I did give something to Sonia Phillip. I remember that. I have a hair. It's driving me crazy. Where is it? Maybe it's a thread. Yeah, these shorts are really cute. They beat whoever said the stash busting comment. I think that's a good comment. But we could do these next week. That'd be fun. I'm all about a free pattern right now. Let's see what happens when we say print. I want to see what we get here. What we look at. We get all this. Okay, wait. Where's this is a free pattern, right, Julia? What am I looking at? Am I looking at a blog? I'm looking at a blog, aren't I? Oh, Beyond Measure. Oh, you know what? I know what I gave her. Yeah. Yeah, it was fun to talk sewing with someone. There it is. I downloaded their, what they called their kimono once. I never drafted it. Oh boy, there's a lot of patterns here. Oh, there we go. This is the same one. So where's the pattern? Do I have to read this? You know what? That's longer than I think. I'm picturing like dolphin shorts. Free City Kids and printed, prepared, and cut out. Okay, wait, women. Ah. Okay. Here's the pattern. What do you guys think? Yeah, I know. She's where I got the idea for the sew along. Yeah, I think this is it, right? This is the link. I didn't see it on the page. I had to look in the instructions. Yeah, no, I totally got the idea from the 100 Acts of Sewing sew along in July from her. I think that would be fun. Yeah, so I think we should do that. We have time, so we can talk about that. Oh gosh, July's in like 2 weeks. What the heck? 4th of July is on a Thursday, so just so you guys know, I probably won't stream that day or that weekend. Maybe I'll take the week off. And I think we're gonna go on vacation at some point. Not too many pages exactly. No pockets in them exactly. You could do like a drop down little zippered pocket in the back. You know? You could do a waist drop down one for like a key or a credit card. Look at them flexing on all their Liberty of London though. Hubba hubba. Like, okay, does this come with free Liberty of London too? So you guys, if you saw me sew my lakeside pajamas, you'd hate me. I put them completely through my binding machine. They were so easy to make. I just bound them complete loop, overlap the side seams the way you're supposed to, and then put the waistband in. They were done in like 15 minutes. It was ridiculous. Hopefully I have fabric for this. Look at that finish. Look at all that binding. Yeah, they do, Louise. Well, we could do that this next week, you guys. I'm down. You up for all the binding? You know I am. All right, so let's do these next week. I'm gonna write it on my calendar. So city gym shorts. City gym shorts. I feel like that could be like cut on Thursday, sewn on Saturday. Maybe I'll do a couple pairs. Maybe we can talk about how we can add a pocket, you know? What else? What else? Oops, I'm already on there. Where's my, oh, here we go. You're in? All right. Cool. I need shorts. Okay, so city gym shorts for next Thursday. And the Weston, are you sure about that? I have them sitting right here. Oh yeah, you're right. What the heck? You've never seen a Pearl Soho? They're a brick and mortar store, but they have so much more. They come up with patterns and knitting, sewing, all of it. They're kind of a big deal. They're in New York. I've never been there though. It's kind of a big deal, meaning like they do okay. Yeah, well, I want to finish my t-shirt pattern, so maybe we could do that. I need to get my serger fixed. Not fixed, but I just want to get it tuned up. So here's the Weston. I like how simple they are. Is it a faux ply? I don't think so. Or did you mean 100 Acts of Sewing, Rachel? Have you not seen them? Yeah, they kind of fly under the radar. You know what's really interesting? If I look at my videos, if I sort them by most viewed, she's like top 3, the 100 Acts of Sewing. So that's how I know, like, people really like her too. She's not to be underestimated. Super simple. Her patterns look homemade. I really like her and what she's done for sewing. She's a really good human being. Yeah. A good dressier short for later. Yeah, like, what do you think about this Weston, Lisa? It's by Seamwork. I think it's pretty affordable too. This is the inside view, that's the outside view, but it would be easy to put hip pockets, you know, like right here. See, Julia, you can put hip pockets right here. Or the cutaway style that we've been doing a lot lately. You could build the dart into it even. You know? Oh, the lark tee. I forgot about that. You just did the coral shirt yesterday and kind of ruined the bottom though? What do you mean? The waist looks, yeah, these are a high-waisted short. But that's easy to lower. Especially if it's tailored. It's pretty easy to lower. Oh, you're looking for a good basic tee. I know, right? Me too. Yeah, Julie, exactly. Now I saw your comment. Yeah, so I could add pockets to these. I like them because smooth shorts are really flattering on me because I'm curvy. I don't print everything, so I don't have all the views here. I just print what I need. And my printer hates printing now that quorum, okay. Now that I've printed thousands of shipping labels. It's like I ruined the heads of the machine or something. Okay, well, let's keep talking. So we'll do the city gym shorts next week, and then I'm gonna think about the Weston. Maybe I could do the Weston here. We'll do a couple pairs of shorts. And then I really want to do some pattern drafting videos, so we should talk about that. What do you guys want? I get overwhelmed, like I just want to dive into it, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, we could spend weeks and weeks on this, you know? Oh, nice, Eliza. Yeah, that t-shirt does look really good on people. The Cashmere Concord, yeah. I'm wondering if there's anyone on Twitch going, is this live right now? Because I'm talking to all of you here. Okay, there's like a couple of viewers. Hi, Twitch. I'm on YouTube, so I'm talking to everyone on there too. They're not imaginary people. All right, well, cool, you guys. We'll do the city gym shorts next week. It's free pattern. I searched the Pearl Soho city gym shorts. Drafting your own basic blocks. Now that's a rabbit hole. I knew that would come up someday. I know, I thought about like if I ever did a pattern company, what if it was you bought a basic block and then you tuned in to learn how to change it, or even just giving like a free block pattern to start with and then learning how to edit it to fit it, you know? It's hard, you guys. Like, it's not hard for me because I know my body, but I don't know everybody else's body, you know? And it's hard, like when you're putting yourself out there teaching people how to do that kind of thing, you can really look like you don't know what you're doing when you kind of don't get it right the first 3 times, and it's because it's not my body. 3 different bodies that measure exactly the same thing will all fit differently. We all have our own little things. But learning how to react to what it's doing is really important. This is why I kind of want to get a bigger dress form, because Skinny Minnie over there, she's not going to really give us the mini challenges and things to work with, you know? So maybe we should do a series. And also, like, do you think my cameras are okay for the pattern drafting? Because it feels really bright, too bright. Yeah, Nancy, I know what you mean. See, what I like the idea of is if you have your basic block, like Malen wants, from there we can go, hey, we really like this silhouette. How do we make that into our size? And then I can show you that. We could go over collars, we could go over sleeves, we could go over that, and then you could do your own thing. But, you know, I spent 2 years solid at college, and 2 years doesn't sound like that much, but they were like 6-hour-long classes each. They were really hard. Yeah, right, Eliza? Exactly. I know, especially if your granddaughter's young, they don't make a lot of sewing inclusive sizing for them. That'd be fun, Julia. A retreat, huh? You'd pay for a series like that? That's good to know. Yeah, I know, right? I gotta think about that. I gotta figure out how to do it. At your house. How many of us can you fit? You are a really good meeting point for all the Europeans because you're on the East Coast and I'm on the West Coast. We can meet on the East Coast. That'd be fun. Your granddaughter too, Nancy? Yeah. I started in children's clothing. I love children's clothing. You won't see me sew a lot of it here because I don't have any little kids in my life. I mean, I have a niece and nephew, but I just don't tend to make them clothes. They're in Seattle. So, you know. And they have a very generous Grammy. Yeah, Malin. Yeah, I hear ya. Yeah, that's smart. Because then you can kind of go, like, I do that. I'm like, okay, you know, how do I adjust this? I look at it to see. That would be awesome, Julia. That'd be fun, Malin. I know. We could meet on an island. There better be food. We need a cook. A caterer. I think we're being really ambitious here. I haven't even hit a year. But it would be really fun, you know? Okay, so we'll do city gym shorts next week. Let's put together some pattern drafting things. We'll do the 100 acts of sewing in July, and maybe we'll do pattern drafting in July. Sound good? And wine. That doesn't sound productive. That's like knitting nights and there's wine and I'm like, yep, I got one row done and I still had to rip it out. Sweary Island Sewing Club. And it would be the salty seas, right? Oh yeah, whereabouts are you at, Liza? Do you have to travel far? You guys are so cute. You could come to my class here in Chico. But I have to tell you, there's no hotels because of the fire. Oh, in Ohio. I've wanted to go there. Oh, I'm so glad, Rachel. Swear all you like. We're here for it. You let that serger know who's boss. And when it tries to tell you differently, just pull out all threads and start over. Yeah. We could all go to Great Britain. Go to, yeah, I'd totally go to England again. You don't mind traveling at all? I don't mind it either. We're not traveling anywhere big this summer that I know of. This is what happens. My family's like, we should go somewhere. And then all of a sudden we're going to Iceland 3 weeks later. That happened last year. It wasn't 3 weeks later, but it was pretty quick. I was like, oh, okay, I guess we're doing this. Yeah, Rachel's the captain of Sweary Island Sewing Club. UK's an island, true. London fabric shopping, yeah. Brooke's over in France. She better be buying some fabric, not just yarn. London fabric shopping. I've never done that. I've been there like 4 times and I've never done it. All right, well, we could probably wrap this up. People are going to look at this video and go, what the heck? It took her 3 hours to sew those? Nah, we chatted for 45 minutes afterward. Quick sew though. I'm going to try them on. I'll post a picture. I hope they fit. I'm sure they will. They may be a little big, but if they're a little small, I might be like, I didn't think they'd be small. Next summer, retreat to England. Be so nice and cool over there in the summer too. That'd be so nice. Maybe I should probably cut my teeth on teaching my first sewing class soon. I saw that, Julia. That's why I say she better not just buy yarn. Yeah, let's hope I have enough people that sign up for my sewing class at the end of the month so I can at least try that out and see what it's like in person. Because I know people are going to want custom. And it's hard. You need to know. Plans, we has them. Oh, that would be so great. Bye, Eliza. Yeah, you guys have a great rest of your day too. Thanks, guys. Oh, that's awesome, Lisa. I've never been there. Well, cool. Well, that was great. So I'm really glad that she came out with this pants pattern this week. Perfect timing. Very cute. I distribute my gathers a little bit. You know, I actually think you could put some like stitches right in the seam allowance to kind of keep your elastic, you know, from maybe twisting. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to stitch in the ditch. One last act of sewing. And then that helps. It doesn't line up with the seam on the facing. Should I do the front too? I'll do the front too. Why not? No, you know what? I'm going to try them on first. Maybe I should make sure. Bye, you guys. And gals. Sewists, one and all. Thanks for coming. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Yeah, me too, Nancy. Right. All right. So I'll see you next week for the City Gym shorts. I didn't see that coming. I have plenty of patterns to use right now. Maybe we should look at my Trello next time and see what you guys have and what I have and make the same thing. Keep our expenses down. Stick to what we have. So I'm gonna bring my mouse pad over here. Cool. All right, guys. Have a great weekend. Happy Father's Day to you, those of you who celebrate it, and all the single moms out there. And I'll see you next week. So we'll be back really soon. Have a great weekend. Eat all the watermelon and let that sewing know who's boss. Bye, guys.